Yes, and here we have the dancers, the Spanish Armada fuckhead, and yes, and of course, Rory's getting beaten here by Blanca. It's a rather funny story of how Rory... Oh. Yeah, so after that slight technical delay, I did lapse a bit and it is actually Vega, not Blanca. Anyway, it's a rather funny story with Rory getting over here. He actually got out on the wrong side of the plane and there was no steps there and he fell into the baggage thing. Yeah, a pretty stupid thing to do. Actually, I did it once before, but I was cushioned by a big fat bitch that just fell down before me. Actually, it looks like Ryu could win this one. But I don't want to speak too soon. Yes, Ryu's won the second bout, and we're forced into a sudden death third round, although it is rather usual. Yes, and the dancers in the background ever dancing, keeping up their wonderful physiques. Lucky enough to go to bed with one of those Spanish Armada dancers last night, and I tell you, they're a good fuck. Well worth the route. And of course, while in Seville, you should go down to the cafes and that, as I did. There's a little place in the back of Chapel Street, and it's, it's got a nice little sort of atmosphere to it. I was lucky enough to have a nice sticky bun and a cappuccino there. And of course, they have a Street Fighter 2 machine in there, which is actually derived from this game. And of course, it's got all the same characters on the tour, and well, it's well worth a play. And now we go to... Yes, and finally we get to Sagat. Yes, and the famous sleeping Buddha. Yes, a lady Buddha. She's laying down. She had rather big lunch, I'm sure. As we all did, I can tell you what. The prawns they give you here are... Well, they're about the size of a Sagat, actually. Tell you what, enough to feed the whole commentary crew one prawn. Of course, we had 20 prawns each, and tell you what, we are pretty fucking full. No, John he's down there on the head of the Buddha, looking into the ear. You can't see him there, he's just behind the cloak, and he's actually climbing down into the ear canal, and we'll just get some sounds from John. I'm looking out of the ear canal and I can see blue sky. There is choppers flying overhead everywhere. Now, as the balloons are being released, I can see hundreds of little balloons being released, yes, and it's a wonderful sight up here above the ground. I'll return you back to Tooney. Yes, and of course, another sudden death, third round here. As you can see, temples in the background, ever present. They've been here since Middle Ages. You can see the stones on the ground. Not too good if you land on one of those little buggers, I'll tell you what. Could hurt, especially as all the Street Fighters must wear bare feet. Yes. Oh, yes, and... Yes, we're on the way to Bison Country. Thought it could have been a double, but we're on our way to see Michael Bison, the downtown traffic cop from Thailand. Yes, he's a great character, Bison. He's really a lady, though. He dresses up in the traffic cop's uniform, but he's actually a woman, so... Yes, of course, Bison is one of the only people fully dressed on that. Most of the characters are fully dressed, but there's a few that aren't. there's Ryu and Ken. They're missing, of course, shoes, which are an integral part of the uniform, I feel. And we're trying to arrange some shoes for Ryu and Ken, so please send to the Ryu and Ken Shoe Fund. Yes, rubber duckies around the head, not good for you. Yes, and there's a lady in the background with 7 arms. Of course, similar to the mystical powers of Ryu Three Toes. We have... Yes, Guile is going on the way. On the quest for glory against Michael Bison. A hush falls over the ground. In an air of expectancy. Yes, it's all even Stevens at this stage. Oh, and Guile's got a bit of an advantage there. And I think I'll just... Yes, and as you can see, the temples in the background are here are similar to those found in the background of Sagat's, as it is just down the road. Of course, this is the Royal Palace of Thailand, and of course, the Taiwanese architecture is coming through in Thailand. Of course, the Taiwanese actually came here in 1684 in search of the fine silk found in this area. And as you can see, the uniform of M. Bison is actually made of that purest fine silk. Yes, and Guile just won that one. Even though he's electrified, he's still there. Yes, ready to fight another day. And look at that haircut. That is wicked. That haircut is wicked. I've been learning a few cool sayings lately, and, well, one of them happens to be, if you're a real idiot, you say, you geek, and if you're, and if you like something, you say, it's wicked. Another one is groovy if you really think something's ace. Ace is also another one I've learnt lately. So there's many different words that I've been learning off the children who've been writing in these sayings on the back of envelopes. And I'll be sending out a Street Fighter 2 game to all of them. Thank you for writing in, boys and girls. And I think Zangief might have a little bit of a go against Michael Bison now, as... No, Blanka will have a little try. Of course, Blanka is the radioactive mutant who got, well, seriously burned in a Union Carbide fire down there at the Brazil factory. And he's vowed to get the boss of Union Carbide, and